Nicole couldn't be happier than ever to return home to her perfect family after a thrilling trip from California. She loved her life. It was absolutely amazing. She had the most loving and supportive husband, the most beautiful little baby girl, and she worked her dream job as a journalist. Her life was caught up between traveling the States, getting to meet the most famous people, and going to stunning locations on the job. But if there was something she'd say she lacked in her life, it was that having a very demanding job, she ended up staying away from her family much of the time. But Nicole was able to manage things because she had the most wonderful sister as well, who always helped her out in her absence. It was just last week when Nicole had left for her last trip that she called up Natalie. "Natalie, could you please drop by the house, check up on Rose while I'm away? I have another business trip." "How long will you be away?" "Only 2 days." "Are you sure?" "Positive." "All right, I'll be there." Natalie Jackson. She was a simple woman living a simple life. She worked as a manager at the BII bank, and she lived on her own in a small apartment. She was single and honestly quite lonely in her life. So, every time her younger sister Nicole called to babysit her 2-year-old, Natalie was almost always available. Besides, since little Rose was born, Natalie had become quite attached to her sister's family. It had only been a week since Nicole had returned from her last trip, and when Natalie got another call so soon, she was a bit surprised. "Another business trip?" "Hey Nicole, what's up?" "Natalie, Richard and I were going to celebrate this Friday. I got assigned a big project. We're gonna have a get-together, so why don't you come over for dinner?" "A party? I thought you were calling me to babysit while you leave for 2 days and show up 4 days later." "No, it's not like that. So you're coming, right?" "Sure." On Friday night, Nicole prepared everything from food to drinks. She put Rose to bed a little early and waited for Natalie to arrive. It was around 7 when Natalie made it, bringing along a cake. "Congratulations, sis. Where's Rose?" Natalie said, stepping inside. "She fell asleep." "Oh, you brought her favorite." "That's too bad. I got those frosted flowers. She loves them." Natalie put down the cake on the table and sat down. Nicole was looking through some pictures of them all on Richard's phone while he joined them as well. "What are you looking at?" "Just pictures of you guys. When I'm away, you all have a lot of fun, don't you?" "You know what I was thinking? It would have been better if you guys got married and had one happy family, wouldn't it?" Nicole said, chuckling. But the look on Natalie's face changed. "Stop it, Nicole. That's not funny." Nicole put down the phone and sternly looked at her. "Why? So you're going to sleep with my husband and not consider marrying him?" Natalie suddenly fell quiet. She didn't know what to say. For the past few days, after Nicole had returned from her last trip, she had sensed something wasn't right. From the moment she stepped into the house, she noticed Richard and Natalie were staying apart from each other. They weren't talking as much or even staying in the same room, and Natalie was in a rush to leave as well. That's when Nicole started to get a little suspicious. "Did you and Natalie get into a fight or something?" "No, everything's fine. Why do you ask?" "No, I just found it a little strange how she left so quickly." She tried talking to Richard, but he obviously didn't tell her anything about it. Natalie then looked through Richard's phone, but there wasn't anything on that either. Rather, it seemed they had a great time. But it was 2 nights ago, while she was cleaning up and taking out the trash to the bin outside, that she saw something that confirmed all her suspicions. Them? They were... Nicole stared at her sister, who just sat there quietly, about to push her for answers when Richard quickly spoke out. "Nicole, it wasn't her fault." "Oh, so you're telling me you forced her into it?" "No, I didn't. I admit it was partially my fault." "Partially your fault? What do you mean, partially your fault? You cheated on me with my sister. My sister! Look, what happened between Natalie and I wasn't an accident. It did happen. But why did this happen? As much as it was my fault, you had a fault in this too. I always supported you for your career and your passion, but you were never there for me. It's been years. We even have a daughter now, Nicole. But your priority never was and still isn't me or my child. But Natalie, she was always here for us. Richard had indeed supported Nicole all these years. He was an engineer and managed to do much of his work from home, and took care of their daughter as well. But obviously, it was a difficult task. To say, Natalie was the one who actually took care of the family. She was the one either dropping Rose off at her daycare, or picking her up and bringing her back to her apartment, or simply staying over at their house, where she even helped out to cook and clean. Auntie! Rosie, my cutie pie, did you miss me? Thanks, Natalie. I'll try to make it back as early as I can. Bye, sweetheart. Call me when you get there. It was over Natalie's frequent visits and stays at the house that she and Richard had become really close. And Richard often opened up to her and relieved his mind from all that was going on in his life, because it was her who was always there for him, by his side. But it was on the last visit that things went out of the way, and Natalie ended up spending the night with Richard. Richard, what we're doing is wrong. I know whatever happened between us wasn't supposed to happen, but it did happen. Natalie, be honest with me. Did it feel wrong? No, Richard, we can't do this. This isn't right. After the incident, the two were awfully regretful of what happened and decided to stay away from each other, hoping that something like that wouldn't happen again. But when Nicole returned, the secret didn't remain hidden. And while Richard and Nicole tried to leave what happened in the past, Nicole planned this get-together to confront them both. A confrontation neither of the two expected. Nicole became enraged as she pointed at Richard. Don't give me excuses. You're blaming this on me? If you had the least bit of respect for our relationship, you could have never done this. Nothing can justify what you two did. She then turned to her sister, who remained silent all the while, without a word to say. And you're my sister. I trusted you with my family. How could you do this? But before Natalie could say anything, Richard interrupted. Did you trust her with your family, or were you just taking advantage of her? That's when Natalie finally spoke out. Stop it, Richard. Look, Nicole, I never meant for any of this to happen. I'm sorry. Sorry? That's all you have to say? A sorry isn't going to change what you did. Nicole got up and turned to Richard. And you're right, I might be career-oriented. I wasn't there for you, but you should have waited for me. And you know what, Richard? If you aren't able to accept me the way I am, then it's better we separate, and then you can do whatever you want, with whoever you want. After the heated argument that night, Nicole and Richard mutually took the decision to separate. Nicole got her own place and moved out and began living her life, while Richard continued on with his. The parents agreed to having Rose live with her father, and occasionally visit her mother as well. However, Nicole was still busy with her work and life. As the years went by, she too started to move on. She met a few other men, though they were all nice people. She could never bond with anyone like she bonded with Richard. But it was rather recently that she finally found someone she liked, and they began dating. All the while, Richard and Natalie too decided to get married, and Rose grew up mostly in their care, like she had been much of her early life as well. It had been 20 years since, and today was the day Rose was getting married. Receiving an invitation, Nicole arrived at the hotel where the wedding was being hosted. When she walked into her daughter's room, she was overcome by tears, seeing how beautiful she looked. Mom, you're here. Of course I'm here. Today is your big day. Where's John? Didn't he come? Yeah, he'll be here soon, sweetheart. You're looking so beautiful in this dress. Rose wiped a tear from Nicole's cheek. Oh, come on, Mom, don't cry. These are tears of joy, sweetheart. I'm happy for you, Rose. You're a wonderful daughter. Your father, he's a good man. And my sister, your aunt, and your stepmom, she's a loving woman too. They've raised you well. You're getting married today. I just want you to remember this little advice before you start a new life. Don't make the same mistake I made. What mistake, Mom? You know what happened between your father and I, with your aunt. For the longest time, I kept a grudge against them. I blamed them for what they did behind my back. But as time went by, and I saw you grow up, I realized my mistake in it all. When I came to all your birthday parties, all the occasions over the years, I used to see how happy you were with them. You got me the dress I wanted? Mom, I love it. I'm gonna wear it right now. Hold on. Mom, we went on a vacation to Hawaii. It was so awesome. I took a lot of pictures. You wanna see? I love you guys so much. I saw how attached you were with your aunt and your father. You're my daughter, but it felt like you three truly belong with each other. And when I realized that, I finally started to move on. But after all these years, I've realized what happened between them only happened because I gave them the space for it to happen. I expected they would make me the priority when I didn't make them my priority. All I ever did was prioritize my career and my life, my goals, and I ended up never being there for you and your father. And ultimately, what happened, happened. Rose, your priority should be your family, not anything else. Yes, money is very important, but do you know why money is so important? Why? Because you need money for your loved ones. If you don't have loved ones, someone who loves you, someone who you love, then life becomes meaningless. If you have no one to share your happiness, you can't truly be happy at all. Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.